Hello, it's a beautiful brand new week, and this is Poly TV Ilaro, and welcome to that program, Poly TV Newspaper Review and Analysis. And today, I know we're really excited because it's a very brand new week. I'm Samuel Lanio. And Femi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Good afternoon and welcome to the studios of Poly TV. Like Sam said, this is Newspaper Review and Analysis on your dialing station, Poly TV Ilaro.
All right, on today's episode of Poly TV Newspaper Review and Analysis, me, myself, and Femi will be looking at various papers that we have, across the national dailies. We have with us Punch. We have the Nigerian Tribune. We also have with us Guardian as well as Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, let's set sail immediately. We are beginning this review with the front page of Punch newspaper. Punch says Wike blog install new NWC, that's the National Working Committee in Abuja. We're talking about PDP convention that happened last weekend. And you know, very many political parties had one thing or the other during last weekend because politics is in the air and politicians are up in their game. The front page of Punch newspaper says PDP convention, Wike blog installs new National Working Committee in Abuja. And still on the front page of Punch newspaper, we have another story, and this one says 2027 Kwankwaso joins ADC, sparks Obi alliance link. Like I said, very many things are happening on the political scene, and of course, politicians are up in their game. They are emerging, they are converging and shaping what is going to happen in 2027. So.
All right, turn straight to the world of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. On the front page of Nigerian Tribune, there's this very bold headline still on the PDP convention. It says, Lamido, Saraki, McAfee, Moro attend Abuja PDP convention. It says, Dakwambo, Natasha, others in attendance, while Makinde, Bala, Oyinola, George, as well as Arapaja stay away. INEC's attendance prove PDP is alive. That's according to former governor of Kwara State, that's Senator Saraki. He also says return our mandate. Wike tells governor and other PDP defectors, and that's coming from the front page of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And still on the Nigerian Tribune, we saw another story again that says Tinubu unveils fund for fallen wounded troops, donates salaries, and that coming on the verge of his 74th birthday celebration. That's on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
Yes, last weekend we heard that our president was 74. He marked his 70th birthday on a low key because, according to him, the happenings in Nigeria does not warrant him celebrating elaborately. So he celebrated low key, and of course he promised to donate his salaries at least for wounded troops, and we're talking about fighting insecurity as it were in Nigeria. And moving forward, let's go to the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Guardian says ADC settles for consensus as PDP scout for presidential candidate. ADC settles for consensus as PDP scouts for presidential candidate. And still on the front page of a Guardian newspaper, Serap flays Ibas over alleged 302 billion naira FARC expenditure in 6 months in Rivers State. There was this report last weekend that the former leader of the emergency rule in Rivers State spent 302 billion naira in 6 months while he was in office, and Serap is calling for probe of that humongous amount of money within 6 months.
All right, and straight to the world of the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper, on the front page of the Vanguard, it says, as deadline expires tomorrow, bank recapitalization raises 4.6 trillion naira. Sparks sectorial battle for allocation as shareholders expect delayed returns. Urge cautious real sector focused development. CPPE wants banks to channel funds to SMEs, real sector to drive economic impact. That on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And still on the Vanguard newspaper, Atiku Ribadu Obi Amechi lead dignitaries to burial of El-Rufai's mother as Northern Governor and Kano Emir mourned. And that's coming on the verge of the death of the late matriarch of the El-Rufai dynasty. And also still on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, it says Palm Sunday, Khan urges leader to ease hardship that's coming at the celebration of the Palm Sunday.
Okay, I will take us back to the front page of a Punch newspaper. There's this minor report at the bottom line which says political titans Dangote attend El-Rufai's mother's burial. We're talking about the death of El-Rufai's mother last weekend, and the woman was buried last weekend, and the incident, that event, drawn political titans across the country talking about who is who in the north, and of course, and it was even reported that the security advisor to Mr. President, Ribadu, was in attendance. At that particular incident, attracted viral comments on the social media last weekend. We will talk about that in the course of this conversation. And beside the masthead of the Punch newspaper, there's this minor report which says, governors snub 98 billion naira UBEC fund despite education crisis. You want to find out why this is so? There's an amount of money sitting somewhere to arrest primary education somewhere, and we were told that the governors they didn't want to go to it. If you are interested, just take that newspaper. The newspaper will explain why the governors will abandon that kind of assistance to rescue the education in the country.
All right, and on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, on the front page, is this quite interesting story that says Middle East crisis, huge energy costs may stall manufacturing, 3.1 growth projection, CPPE put annual spend on petrol generators at 10 trillion naira and also 3.7 trillion naira. Crisis bad for businesses coming from the LCCI says 957 million liters of fuel consumption more than domestic refining capacity, and that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. And
talking about another story entirely, we're going to the front page of Guardian newspaper. There's this report that went viral during the weekend, and the story says terrorists are not prodigal sons, says Bishop, as Chief of Army Staff orders relentless onslaught. The Army Chief was calling for pardon or for terrorists, likened terrorists to a prodigal son as it was in the Bible. And people took him to the cleaners, saying, why must you liken the terrorists to prodigal son in the Bible when these terrorists have mauled many people, have killed many people, and you want to plead for leniency for them, you want to amnesty for them and all whatnot. So, and the army last weekend was trying to defend it, that people that were quoting it was quoting him out of context, that was not the intent of that story, but people will not want to listen to that.
All right, and on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, it says poultry farmers lament scarcity, price hike over chicks shortage. Poultry farmers lament scarcity, price hike over chick shortage. There seems to be a whole lot of unsettling surrounding the Nigerian economy so far, because a lot of people are blaming that probably on the Middle East war and the devaluation of Naira as well. But let's see how it plays out in the coming days. That's on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Okay, that is sadly the highlight of what we have on the front pages of the major newspapers today. But one story that is very prominent across all of them were political. The political story, what happened last weekend, up to the point of the burial of El-Rufai's mother. It was another political gathering, if you ask me, because they really play politics, even at the point of a burial. So what do you have to say to the political tension in the country? Well, I think at this point in time, looking at the burial of the former governor of Kaduna State, that's
his mother.
The mother, I mean, yeah, it's one event that I would say has helped to bridging the gap between the whole party. You talk about APC, you talk about the defunct PDP, you talk about also the current ADC. At the point in time when El-Rufai was going through his audios with EFCC as well as DSS, at the point we had silence. The ADC chieftain were not really coming out as we expected them to come out for Rufai. But suddenly, after the death of of the mom, then we saw them trying to unite and trying to. At this point in time, one thing is certain: the friendship between Nuhu Ribadu and El-Rufai seems to be a very, very strong friendship. Although their political line have actually, it has gone astray. Well, you can see that relationship in at that burial ceremony. Another thing I need to also state again is that Ribadu needs to be very, very careful, because at a point in time now you start hearing different discordant that okay, probably he's going to be a mole or something. I don't know, because of that closeness to the friendship he has to El-Rufai.
No, you see, there are different perspectives to that gathering. Me, I want to look at it from various perspectives. If you look at it from the Islamic point of view, it is Islam command that you attend the janaza of your fellow faithful, either a Muslim or either a sister or a brother. When such happens, try and attend the janaza. That's Islamic prayer. Try and attend the burial. So because it is highly rewardable for you to attend it, and it will be ibadah for whoever that the prayer is called about. So if you read Islamic point, if you look at the Islamic point of view to that thing, Ribadu does something that is very good, and is attending the janaza. And of course, when you look at the mother, the woman that was being buried, at a point in time in the life of that woman, or in the life of politics in the north, that woman was a rallying point for all of them. That woman was a rallying point. If you want to liken that woman to who HID was to us here, Hannah Didolu Awolowo, the wife of late Sage. In fact, at a point in time, that woman stood as a rallying point for politics, for politicians, for different views in the north. So I think the attendance there, you have Atiku there, you have Dangote there, you have Ribadu there, and of course even Ubasani, that is posing as enemy to El-Rufai.
Exactly.
All of them were there. So from the Islamic point of view, it is they did what is right. But look at it in political perspective. There's no permanent friend. There's no permanent enemy in politics. So all of them rallied El-Rufai, at least to bury Hamada. But don't forget that El-Rufai is still not yet in bail. In fact, he was released to attend to bury his mom, maybe on a personal, compassionate guy. ICPC just released him to go and bury him. Maybe today, tomorrow. That is when the bail application will be determined by the court. He's yet to be on bail, but definitely he was released to go and bury his mother. But
there are some serious questions that we need to also. Actually, another highlight of that event was I saw a video clip of the former minister of digital economy. That's Professor Issa Pantami. Trying to reconcile
Ubasani and
El-Rufai. But one thing that caused for questioning, for concern, is what happens to the average man who does not have the relationship to powers that be in such a related scenario like this? Because we've seen cases of people that have been arrested, that has been probably for crimes that were committed, but have not been the court of law has not given pronouncement yet, waiting for court judgment, and then they get bereaved, probably their loved ones, or something, but they are not given such compassionate ground. So what happens to justice in the Nigerian space? That calls for serious question.
Well, what I can tell you an answer to that is this popular quotation: all animals are equal. Some are more.
Are we really equal?
Some are more important than the other. That is just the desegregation. Because when you compare, we are not equal. Even the law may say we are equal before the law, but practically, what some people will do and get away with, some will do and not get justice.
I don't know how many average Nigerians have the opportunity or that privilege of being released to go and bury their mom. I don't know how many.
Well, that's a question for another day. Another thing that happened during the weekend was this PDP convention. Yes, it's a big,
wow.
It's a big convention, it's a big event. And of course, the headline of one of the papers are saying ADC is settling for consensus while PDP shopping for presidential candidates. As at now, we don't know who and who may likely want to say, yes, I want to run on the platform of PDP as the presidential flag bearer in Nigeria.
Oh, I think I saw the video of the PDP convention. I was just smiling all through the weekend. And one thing that is very, very important is that Wike, he knows how to play politics very, very quite well. And if you look at in terms of the attendance, it was fairly not bad in terms of the big wigs that attended the party, maybe except for the 2 state governors that are still in PDP, and then maybe the likes of Akume and sorry, I said Akume, I mean Body George. Those were the 2 maybe big wigs that did not really attend, and that part, as well as the former governor of Osun State, that's Oyinlola. But outside that, you saw the likes of McAfee, you saw the likes of Saraki, you saw the likes of even Natasha, and so it was well represented. But there seems to be some set of discordant in the party at the moment, because the other faction, according to Wike, there was a convention that was held in Ibadan that he tagged the Amala convention, and then I saw
that convention has been
nullified by the
court of law.
Yeah, well, there's still another case pending at the court of the Supreme Court.
So that is why the Makinde and Turaki faction, that is what they are tying on now. They are expecting judgment from Supreme Court based on that. Maybe that one, but even at that, the Lamido, Saraki, McAfee, Moro that attended Abuja convention last weekend, all of them, they are not lost on the possibility of the emerging bigger PDP, because they're still talking reconciliation. You know, last week, even Makinde himself said it, that the chance of reconciling the warring factions, the tussles, is there. So they're still talking behind the scene. They're talking. So let's believe that something bigger will come out at the end of the day. But if you want to look at who is going to flag the
that is a serious question. That's a serious question. Asked.
You know, Saraki has ruled himself out. Last week he said he will not run because he wants to give the southern opportunity another chance, because we have APCs running for now for South. So he wants to respect that 2 terms presidency for the South before he declared his intention. And at a point that before the crisis in PDP escalated to this level, there was this rumor that Makinde wanted to run for president then in PDP. But when the crisis had reached the rooftop, now we don't know what is ambition now. He's just silent. We don't know what is going to happen. But I want to give it to those that are pushing for reconciliation. It is better late than never. Let them reconcile. Let them push up somebody to represent them at the next presidential election and see what is going to happen. Because, like somebody said, Nigeria cannot be good under one-party state.
Exactly. And if you ask me, I think one major highlight for me at that convention was the speech by the FCT minister, that's Barrister Nyesom Wike, where he threw some shade at the former Labour Party presidential candidate, talking about how he left the party when the party needed him, most. I think that's one highlight. And then also the Wike dance.
To me, he was just trying to mock him or play politics.
Exactly.
If he's talking about what happens to all PDP governors that left the party and ran to APC.
I think he was also talking to those ones too.
So that is okay. Let's talk about the ADC and Kwankwaso. By this afternoon, Kwankwaso will be former member of APC. He's going to resign from NNPP. So
I think he has already resigned.
So he's going to get the card carrying member of ADC by this afternoon. And last week there was this alliance, Obi Kwankwaso.
Yes.
It went viral that Obi want to run and Kwankwaso will be his deputy, but they are going to a party that is not ready to adopt consensus. Because I know for sure Atiku will not want to be a second video to anybody. So what is going to happen in ADC?
From my own perspective, I feel like ADC happens. That is what happens when you have various factions or various fragments of disjointed elements coming together into one entity. If you ask me, I feel the major problem they would have in ADC is trying as much as possible to drop their ego and look at how to form a formidable alliance against the ruling party. If you ask me, you have the likes of former governor of Rivers State, that Amechi. You also have the likes, who is also high in the presidency. You also have the likes of the former governor of Anambra State, that's Peter Obi. You have the likes of even Nasir El-Rufai in that party ADC. You also have you have now Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso coming into the ADC, and also the former vice president of the country, that's Mr. Atiku Abubakar. So how would they be able to, I don't know, in terms of who is going to be the flag bearer, who's going to be the deputy? There were actually some rumors at a point in time that Kwankwaso there was this arrangement for him to come to the party as the VP or something, I don't know, but I think that was actually addressed in one of the headlines of the front page of the newspaper. But one thing I know for certain is that ADC chances are way getting darker and slimmer as the day goes by.
The party is loaded as at now by heavyweights from different political parties that are disgruntled. They now come to ADC. But let's see if they will be able to bury their ego and present somebody and present somebody. Because even the alliance of Obi and Kwankwaso that we are talking about, it was even rumored that if ADC will not allow them to run, that will be for president, Kwankwaso they may likely go to NDC.
Oh yeah, there's NDC also.
They will not go to NDC.
That has the national leader, the national leader of the party. I think is that not Timothy Silva?
That is the dilemma. That's the dilemma. So, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what happens in the next couple of days. The week is very new, and this alliance we're talking about is emerging every day. So, whatever happens, we will get to the bottom of it and probably give Nigerians update on what is going to happen. So that is the program today. We don't have much time. That is the newspaper review and analysis today. Myself and Sam has been able to extract it, as it were, and we promise to brief you to detail you as soon as information gets unfold.
Okay, all right. On behalf of the rector of the institution and the vice chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Ilaru, and that's Dr. Mukail Aremu, they want to wish the president of Nigeria and also the grand commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that Alhaji Bola Ahmed, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, an happy birthday on the 74th birthday celebration. We pray for a better Nigeria, and then we also hope to see the changes that he has longed for a long time wanted for Nigeria. Happy birthday to him. All the crew at Poly TV is saying happy birthday to Mr. President. I'm Samuel Olanio. Thanks for watching and bye for now.